Was not able to connect.
Oh, mas eu quero como?
All right, welcome from the break, everyone. So everything we've done before the break is considered not done because there's no proof. So we have to start all over again. Okay, so in DevOps 2, what we say we want to do is to expand the scope. All right, let me quickly show us as a form of reminder when we were laying out the architecture in at the beginning of DevOps 1. I showed us some of the things we were going to do after we've completed DevOps 1, right? And we successfully completed DevOps 1. So now we want to run our code through a static code analysis tool, which is sonarQ. It's going to tell us if there are bugs in our code, if there is any hotspot, if the code is smelling, all of that. Okay. And then if it passes the sonarQ, we also move it through JFrog, okay, as a versioning tool. JFrog can do a complete CI/CD, just like Jenkins, okay? However, within this project, we are using it mainly for artifactory version, okay? So the essence of doing sonarQ is so that uh, the developers will not just pass the buck to your table and be using you to buy time. It is a tool that they also use on their own before they send out their code, just to confirm if the code passes static analysis or not. Okay. So we are saying you as a DevOps should also know how to use this tool. Okay. So that you'll be sure that the developers are not just pushing whatever to you, asking you to force it to build, when in real sense, they know what is sent to you, but they just want to buy time, thinking you will not figure it out. Okay. But if you're able to do this and the code does not pass static analysis test, it's as good as telling them with proof. Okay. So they will not make you go ahead and begin to waste time and your resources. Okay. But with JFrog, what we are attempting to do is if we build 10 times, we're going to have just one artifact. If you like, build 100 times, you will have one artifact. Okay, what that means is the latest build will overwrite the penultimate build. Okay, so what that means is if the latest build, when we release it, does not actually behave the way we want it to behave, there is no penultimate build which we can uh, revert to as a restore point. Okay, so we want to use JFrog to be keeping the different artifacts of our build. So if we build 10 times on our workstation server, we will only have one artifact. But because we have an artifactory versioning service, which JFrog is doing with us, JFrog will be keeping the artifacts of each build for us. So in case we go to build 10 after the developers have made changes and we build again, we have the 11th build. And the 11th build, after we have released it, is not behaving the way we expect it to behave. Okay. We'll just quickly revert back to the 10th build artifact. Okay. So to set up sonarQ, we're going to launch a server, okay, and to save cost, we're going to be putting sonarQ and JFrog on the same server because they are using different ports. So this time around, let's try to work with Amazon Linux server. We've been using Ubuntu all along, so let's use Amazon Linux this time around. Okay, so I'm gonna share. Return to. Okay, so we are looking for how clean the code is. I hope you can hear me. So let's launch an instance this time. Move on. Uh, sonarQ, JFrog, Amazon Linux, Amazon Linux 2 is a free tier server as well. We're gonna use T2 medium.
We are launching this server now. I just want to maybe you can throw more light on the keyword static. What is it by when we mean static code? What are you actually looking for in the code?
You want to see how clean the code is.
Okay.
By say clean, you want to know if there are no bugs within the code, if there are no unnecessary repetitions, if there are no hotspots, like if the code is not vulnerable. Okay. When you say static, when it is at rest, when the code is not running,
Yeah.
that's what they mean by
Oh, okay.
static code analysis. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I ask sometimes you think we know these things. When they ask a question, then we say, you say static now. We don't know.
Abi, okay, is a good question. Okay, I think that's all. So we don't instance. Hmm. Okay, so let's go to the instance. Let's filter by running. Then we copy the IP. We expect this to have terminated because the IP is out. Okay, so what do we do? Sudo password EC2 user. Okay. So we say sudo vi root sssht underscore config being set. Come all the way down. Have we passed? Okay. So we can comment this and not comment this. Then we run right-click bank. So we run sudo systemctl restart sshd. Okay. So next we want to install Java. Okay. So how do we install Java? Sudo, let's find Amazon Linux extras. It is still not showing. Okay. So that's no problem. Sudo Amazon Linux extras. Install Java open JDK 11 flag Y. Okay. So what do we do next? Cd root user library JVM networking directory. Copy all of this. Then we vi dot bash underscore profile. We insert, and then we run java underscore equals this. Then we complete here. Java underscore home. Okay. Then let's quit bank. We can now source it. Everything is good. So we now say that we want to install sonarQ. sonarQ is an open source platform developed by SonarSource for continuous inspection of code quality to perform automatic reviews with static analysis of code to detect bugs, and code smells of 29 programming languages. Continuous inspection, meaning that you can build it into your CI pipeline, continuous integration pipeline. Okay. Then from there, I come to sonarQ site to come and show us the requirement. Okay, so let's do that again. We right click on this. Let's check our document. She's showing us documents for 10.7. This is an archived version. We'll be using 9.4. 9.6 is close to 9.4. You wonder why I don't want to use the newest version. I've tried using the newest version with Amazon Linux. I do not have a headway. I'm still looking for where I get it wrong. Okay, so let's use 9.4 to serve us. So what do you want to find out? The requirement. What do we need? Prerequisite. Okay, you must be able to install Java, which we've done. Hardware requirement, 2 gig of RAM. Okay, which we have. Amount of disk space. Okay. Enterprise. Okay, 16 gig of. This is for enterprise hardware. Okay. We are just using it for our own. Okay. So the Java that you expected for server Java 7, Java 11 is good. For OpenJDK, Java 11 is also what? It's also good. Can you see? That's for the server. For database, look at the versions 13, 12, 11, 10. We're going to be installing PostgreSQL 13. You can also use, if you're installing it on a Windows operating system, look at the database you're going to use, Microsoft SQL. I can also use Oracle database as well. Okay, so for you to experience the web server, these are the browser that is recommended: Edge, Mozilla, Firefox, Chrome, Opera, Safari. Since Opera has not been tested, it does not mean that it is not approved. It only says proceed with what? With caution. Okay. And these are the platforms. Look at it. Linux. All of these values, okay, we're going to be editing it. But the reason I've come here to show you is so that by the time I begin to do all those pasting and editing, you'll not be wondering, where am I getting those values from? It is actually from this documentation. Okay, from this documentation. So let's get into action now. Let's go ahead and install PostgreSQL. Okay, which is going to be sudo Amazon Linux extra install. We're going to be installing PostgreSQL 13. So I'm just going to copy this. Like why? Okay, should have put install. right? Successfully, we have installed. Can we clear screen? Now let's do other things that we need to do. Sudo yum install PostgreSQL server. Okay. PostgreSQL develop, and then PostgreSQL like why? Then we initialize database sudo root user bin PostgreSQL stop initialize database. Then sudo systemctl start PostgreSQL. Enable it. Do you want to check the status? It is running. Okay. So when you install PostgreSQL, a user which is called Postgres is automatically created. How do we know? If I cat, let's get int password. And you see the user Postgres. Okay. So what do we need to do first? We need to create password for that user. So we say sudo password Postgres. Okay, let's clear screen. Next, we need to change user and go into the database. So if we go into the database, it will go in as that user that was created. Now in database, users are also called roles. Okay. So the command to enter into the database, right, is sudo flag u, the name of the user, Postgres, then p SQL. So yeah, we are here. Okay. So the first
How
thing we
come
need to do,
how come no problem with password?
you said,
How come no problem with password?
how come we did not what?
Prompt you for password. That is supposed to prompt you for enter password.
Oh, okay, okay. This is database. This
So
database. I expect it to prompt me actually, but it doesn't. So I'm here now. Uh, or let's exit. I expected it to prompt me as well. This time around, let's
go
use.
flag P.
You
Go
said?
flag P. Right. I supposed to enter flag P and enter it. Now prompt you.
Not really. I'm
Okay,
coming.
okay.
SU Postgres. Okay. Okay. So I'll now go P SQL. All right. I think it's good I just uh use the other command. And what's the command? Okay. Let me exit. Clear. This one takes me to the database. No, 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 no. Control C. This. Okay, it takes me to the database. And the first thing we need to do is to create a new database. If I say /du, no, /du, meaning display users. This is saying that I have one user Postgres, and that user is a super user. It can create load, meaning it can create other users. It can create databases. It can replicate. It can bypass run levels. Okay. So this user now, we are going to use it to create a database. Okay. /list. How many databases do we have? List of databases, we have Postgres. Okay. So let's create a Sonar database where sonarQ is going to be saving its own findings. Right. So we run create. Okay, let's create user first. Create user. We'll call the user Sonar. With one thing here is database. Within the database, the commands are in what? Sonar. So this command is create user, call the user Sonar, and give the user password, and also call the password what? Sonar. Okay. Now, when you enter commands like this, it must always give you a feedback of what you are doing. If it doesn't give you a feedback within database, then your command has not worked. Okay, so as I tapped enter, you say it gave me a syntax error at near this. That means what I've done has not yet worked. So let me clear screen. Okay. CLD, CLR. What's the command to clear screen on database? I'm trying to remember. Anyway, I'll find out. Or if you find it on Google, let me know. It's a command I normally use to clear screen here. Incoming, clear screen. Now let's go back. Let's create database now. Create user. Call the user Sonar with password Sonar. So this is what I'm saying. If you don't get this feedback, we didn't get it the other time. If you don't get this feedback of what you are doing, then it does not work. So if I run back / display users now, The initial time, we didn't see Sonar. Now, Sonar user has been created or Sonar role, but it does not have any attribute yet. So let's make this Sonar a super user. So we'll go alter user. What's the name of the user? Sonar. What do you want to do with it? With super user. Don't forget this semicolon. So you see again, it gave me this feedback that I have altered what the role. So again, if I display user, see that Sonar is now a super user. Okay, so let's quit. And then let's clear. Okay, so next thing is we need to do some file editings. Okay, all of these editings, where did I get them from? On sonarQ documentation, especially configuring PostgreSQL database for sonarQ. That's why I said, that's why I went to show you all of that. So that when I'm doing all this abracadabra, you will not think, oh, okay, it's because I've been here for such a number of years. No, it is available in the documentation. Okay, so the first file we're going to edit, sudo vi var library pgsql data root file library data pg underscore hpa dot configuration. Okay, we insert and then all of these guys bearing method pair, we change them to trust. I'll be honest, what I can explain here is we are doing this configuration because I find it on the database. Sorry, on the documentation. Okay, but I think it only means that trust these connections. 127.0.0.1 SADA 32. How many IP addresses are in that SADA?
One.
Single one,
One.
that's
One.
true.
One. Yeah.
And what does 127.0.0.1 mean?
I think it's a
Sir?
local network now.
Beautiful.
Local network.
Local host. Thank you, sir.
Local, yeah.
Local host. It means that when the system wants to talk to itself or refer to itself, this is what it uses.
Yeah.
127.0.0.1. Okay. That's why when you're looking at the classification of IP version 4 groups, okay, the between group A and group B, group A stops at 1 to 126. Sorry, class A stop at 126 and class B start at 128, omitting 127, which is not like that for other classes. There's no omission between class B and class C. Okay. So we've done what we've been asked here to come and do. The next thing we do is we save. Again, this kind of file, before you edit it in production, always ensure you what?
Backup.
Good. So having set them to trust, we'll return back to the database. Okay, and we'll now create a new database. So we say create database and call it Sonar. Don't always forget this exclamation mark. Okay. Then we want to give this database privileges. So we say grant. How we do that? Let me run /L. See the new database. Sonar. There are no privileges here. So we want to give it all privileges. So we say grant all privileges on database Sonar to the user Sonar, which is the role. Okay. This Sonar database, who is able to access it? Nobody. So we are saying this Sonar database allow, before now we created a role, which is also called what? Sonar, a role or a user. Okay, so we are saying allow the Sonar user have all privileges to this Sonar database. Okay, that's what we're trying to say here. And again, don't forget the exclamation mark. It's been granted. So if I run like you now see that Sonar here is now being accessed by what? This user. Sonar.
Sorry, sir. Is it accidental or is it convention to name them the same thing? Or can you use different to name them? What about
So
the user and the
you
database
can use
itself?
a different name as long as you will
Remember
remember
it.
it. Because
Okay.
by the time we install sonarQ, there will be a place where we go and configure it to run as that user Sonar.
Yes, yes, yes. Understand.
Okay. So uh now I'm going to exit, quit, clear screen. I want to install Sonar, so the command cd into opt. So we run sudo wget to kami. Sudo wget, I'll go and copy the URL. Like I said, the URL that I've always been using that works well is 9.4, but it's no longer here. But however, if I install it, it will still be, I'll be allowed to install. But I want to show you where we get the URLs from in case you also you want it. Okay. Community build. Okay. Look at this guy here. Community edition. There's a place where I can see previous versions. Not sure whether LTE version. Okay, our historical downloads here. This is it. Okay, look at all the previous versions. Okay, 10.4. They've removed a lot. 9.4 is not here. Okay, even 9.62 is not here. Okay, so let's say you want to download 9.9 community version. I expect it to show us. No, this is not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the download. Let's see the documentation. No. Mm,
Yeah,
okay.
click in here. And I click
Uh-huh.
on download.
Look at it here. Copy link address. But like I said, we are using 9.4. So let me go find it where it's in the document that I sent to us. Okay. Now I'm not sure where I have that document myself. You can imagine me. Yeah, found it. We would have been closing up to class now, but okay, so where is the URL? All right. Sudo get this. Too bad. Cannot copy. Let me go copy again. Copy to clipboard. Finally. So we list. We have our sonarQ. It is zipped. What do we do? Sudo unzip sonarQ. Good. So we change the user as well, but we will create
Doctor,
another user. Go ahead.
how did you get the link you copied?
That's what I
The
said. Like
sonarQ.
I have it, but they've taken it down on their website because they don't want you to use it again. But it's still working. So the link
Okay.
is in the documentation I sent to us for sonarQ. It
Okay.
is sonarQ
Right.
9.4. But if I check here, 9.4 is not here. They've taken down so many. Okay. If you count here, uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You only have 10 here. But the other time we saw more than 10 of it. If I come to download and I click on a community, no. Why is it attempting to download? Let me return back to sonarQ. sonarQ server documentation. sonarQ 17. Okay. See that is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Maybe we can try 9.6. 9.6.
Yeah. I was thinking, what if we try a different version?
9.6.
That's what I'm saying. I've tried some of these higher versions. Okay. But
Okay.
I'm unable to integrate it with my pipeline. I mean, it will run,
Oh,
it will do everything for you. But some of them, I'm unable to seamlessly integrate it with my pipeline. 39.4, and I've been able to
Work on.
properly integrate it with my pipeline. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and I want to show you how to be able to integrate it with a pipeline.
Yeah, okay, that's
Okay.
fine.
okay. Nice.
Because what it will mean is you use a version that is working, okay, but you will not be able
Okay,
to
try that.
bring it into your CI/CD. So you have to be doing it separately. So every time they work on your code, you take it into when you click build, okay, instead of the build to take it through sonarQ, it won't be able to take it through sonarQ. Okay, so it's not as though it's not working, it is, but I'm considering where I can have everything in the
Created.
pipeline. Yeah. So that's why
Okay.
I'm using this old one. Okay, so I should have changed the ownership to EC2 user, but I want to use Sonar. I'll create a new user, sudo user add Sonar. Okay, sudo password Sonar. Okay, so let's make the Sonar user a sudo. So we say sudo user mode flag AG. Okay. Here the name of the group is Sonar. Sorry, the group is wheel. If you want to make a user a sudo in Ubuntu, the name of the group is sudo. But here the name of the group is Sonar. So you will remember that we now have Sonar in different places. On the Linux server, we have Sonar as a user. We also have Postgres as a user. On the Postgres database, we have a role also called Sonar. Remember I told you users are also called roles. We have a role called Sonar. We also have a database called Sonar. And concerning the database, we've given up privileges to the role called Sonar as well. Right? So the next thing we want to do now is we're going to be changing, if I change the ownership of this to Sonar. So we run sudo chown flag capital R Sonar colon sonarQ. If I list, has changed to Sonar. So let's switch user to Sonar now. Okay, can I remove this? Sudo rm sonar dot zip rm. It's gone. Okay. So let's begin now to do some editing. So we say vi sonarQ configuration sonar.properties. Okay. You see all those username, password that I showed you initially in the database that I said we're going to be coming to do the configuration. See them here now. So the first thing we want to do is we want to uncomment the Elastic search. So I'm looking for the Elastic search. It's always under JVM options of Elasticsearch. This is all of the trouble why I have to share with you the note. Okay, look at it. So you comment this. All right. The next thing is we go to the end of file. We'll copy and paste some things. Okay. And I'll try my best to explain. I'm getting to the end of file, right? Then I'll paste all of this. The following properties may not be used in production environment: Elasticsearch, HTTP connector, all of this. Sonar database username. The database we created, the name of the Sonar, the password we gave, sorry, the user we created, Sonar, the password I gave the user, computer1. Of course, you know, this is the Sonar user on this Linux, not the Sonar role within Postgre. Are you following? The Sonar user on this engine,
Okay.
this. The password for the one on the row is Sonar. Okay. Now, the URL, look at it. Variable and this. All of this, especially these three, they are within this configuration file. Okay. But I can't begin to be looking for them, to be filling them one by one. So in the documentation on sonarQ, it says I should go and find them and fill this. But because I know they are commented out wherever they are, I just decide, okay, in my own case, I'll type it out all together and what?
Paste it here.
And put the values for them. Sonar JDBC username and password. If I scroll up, you will see it. Can you see
Already
anything?
there. Yeah.
Credentials. So I'll come here, fill here. And I'll also now be looking for these ones. Okay. Sonar, yes, look at them here. Are you seeing it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. The path to temporary files and variables, database and temporary files. Okay, so they are here. The one for Postgre, if I go to Postgre, I'll see it. Okay, so why am I not using it is because I know it is commented out wherever it is. So I can just list another one and put the values for them. This guy, look at it. But you see, it is what? Commented out. Okay, so that's why I put everything here all together.
Well, now we can also go about it. So maybe we won't put line number on these things. You can get it right.
You said?
There's a way they normally enter line number on VI editor. Like you show the line numbers. And you mark that the line number they are. With that one, you can just place them and put them.
So how will you now know the line number?
No, there's a way they put it. There's a way they put
I
the line
know
number
now.
inside.
I know, but it means that you know what you're looking for before you get the line number now, isn't it?
Yes.
It's still the same stress of go look for it.
Okay.
Did you get what I'm saying? It's still the
Yeah.
same stress of going to look for it. Okay. So right quit bank, we've done that. Again, you want to go edit VI this time around. It's going to be bin Linux sonar.sh. Okay, we are coming here. We uncomment this. We say it should run as sonar. Run as sonar. That's all. So what do we do? We escape. I quit bank. We still have some editing to do. All those numbers you are seeing, let's go edit. So we say sudo vi root etc ctl dot configuration. Okay, we go to the end of file. Insert. And then we paste the virtual machine maximum mark count. This guy. I think I showed you some of this. Okay, look at them. Maximum mark count and all of that. All these things are from this documentation. Okay, you go through this place. It's quite abstract. That's why I just have to send you the manual so that you will not be totally lost. Right quit bank. Another thing we need to edit. Sudo vi root et security limit.configuration. Again, we'll go to the end of file of this one as well. And then we also paste this. So now add no file. So at this point, the documentation says we should try and reboot the sonarQ server before we go ahead and start sonarQ. Okay, so to reboot, and we exit, clear, sudo init 6 to restart our server.
Hello, you are muted though.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so here we have started our sonarQ. Let me show you again how we started sonarQ. After we restarted Sonar, what do? We switch to So after we restarted the server, I switched to Sonar. Okay. Then after I switched to Sonar, I navigated to where we have our sonarQ, and I listed, then cd into bin, list again, cd into Linux, list again, c sonar.sh. So to start this, so you run /sonar.sh start. That's it. Because I started before, it tells you sonarQ is already what? Running. Right. So the next thing we want to do is we want to go and access the web server. So we pick the IP address of this server and run it on port 9000, which is what I did here. However, it is unreachable because this firewall, the security group of that server, does not have port 9000 open. So I'll pick another one, 9000 from anywhere. I can now say this is for sonarQ. Okay, then you save rule. If you return here, if we refresh, it is now accessible. Okay, so the default login and password is admin, which you'll be required to change. Okay, so admin default credentials. Should be allowed to change that old password admin. Then you enter your new password. Okay. So now we are sonarQ. Because we're using 9.4, it tells us we're running a version of that is past end of life. Please upgrade supported version immediately. Okay. So we can now upgrade from here. If you so wish to, you're in a version of this, please upgrade to supported. AI generated, all of that. How to upgrade, let's see. Okay. But what we need to now do here is to now set up our sonarQ, generate the snippet that we are going to run on our workstation server. Let's do that in the next 10 minutes. So I click manually. What do we call the name of this? So we say GTT, not GTT. July. Okay. 24 bootcamp. Then we say setup. We're doing mode manual setup. So if we look at all of this, Jenkins, blah, blah, blah. Are you sure you're testing or an advanced use case? Let's analyze locally. Okay. So if I analyze locally, provide a token. The name for our token, I'm still going to call it July 24 bootcamp generate token. Now you see this token, you must copy it somewhere safe. You only see it once. you will not see it again. So it means you must copy it somewhere safe. Okay. I want to paste. I just copied. Okay. Now, continue. So of all the tools here, which one describes our build? Maven is what we are using. So you say execute the scanner for Maven. Running a sonarQ analysis with Maven is straightforward. You just need to run the following command in your project folder. Copy, clean, verify, sonar, all of this. Okay, so I copy this, and then we go to our workstation server to go and run that command. So let's go to our workstation server now. This is our workstation server. I need the IP because I know it would have changed. So I come here, paste the new IP, then I'll connect, add and continue. Then I'm going to CD into, okay. List. So we are in our project folder. So that's what the instruction says. You just need to run the following command in your project folder. So it is still Maven, the tool that we have. So if I paste, oh, okay. Let's go copy again. Copy this. And then I paste it here. Let's run. Hopefully succeed. Boom. We have an error. Exception word.go due to an API incompatibility. The .war cannot access default field of properties. Okay. So you need to troubleshoot. Okay. So what I would say is, let's end the class here. Our build was a failure. When we come tomorrow, we'll come and start troubleshooting one after the other. Is that okay? But at least you are able to set up this to this extent. Okay? So when we come tomorrow, we'll begin with this troubleshooting. All right? You have the documentation. Please go ahead. Use it to set up your own sonarQ as well. And if you also fall into this error ditch that we just fell in, you join us tomorrow. But it's possible that you are meticulous while you're doing your own, do not have such error problem. Okay. Any question?
Sorry, I want to find out the command we just pasted now.
Yes.
Is it building the
It will build the
one
source
file again?
code
One file
again.
again? Yeah. Oh, okay, I see.
Yes.
I think there's a duration somewhere in the code now. Tomorrow we'll troubleshoot it.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
we begin to troubleshoot now. I may drag you for another 30,
Yes,
45
yeah.
minutes, but let's continue that tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? All right, guys, I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Good night.
Good night.
Bye.